All right, good morning, everyone. Before we get started, I just want to let you know this webinar is going to be recorded. And also, as we're going along, feel free to put any questions in the chat, and then we can get to them at the end. So first, just want to say welcome to the Triton community and congratulations on your admission to UCSD. And my name is Tessa. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the Outdoor Leadership Coordinator for OUTBACK Adventures, which is part of campus recreation. And I'm also a proud Marshall alum, so special welcome to any future Marshall students in our audience. This webinar is about OUTBACK Adventures and wilderness orientation. So today we'll talk about a quick overview of the 4 different areas that we have at OUTBACK. And we'll focus most of our time talking about wilderness orientation because it's our biggest trip program of the year for incoming students like yourselves. So our mission at OUTBACK is to provide opportunities for challenge, leadership, and environmental responsibility through adventure experiences. And we do this through our 4 program areas. We have a rental shop, trips, climbing center, and a challenge course. So I'll take you through those quickly. First off is our rental shop. We're located on the north end of campus, and people from the UCSD community can come and rent gear from us for all sorts of personal outings. And we have discounted rates on our gear for students. And this is also where our offices are. So if you sign up for wilderness orientation, your trip will begin here at our offices. And we actually have someone on site right now. Lorena can give us a tour of OUTBACK. So I'll stop my screen share and let her show us around. Since I know some of you can't be here on campus, this is kind of a neat opportunity for you to be able to see a little bit of our offices and what you'll experience when you come to campus. I will, let's see. I'll pass it over to Lorena. Okay, Lorena, you can introduce yourself and then also just show us around for a little bit.
Hi, I'm trying to, here we are. So this is our building here. So I'm gonna go on in, and this is our courtyard, and you would normally come in here to the rental shop. And as you come into the rental shop, someone will be here to greet you. These are some wetsuits that we're getting ready to rent out for our snorkel trip. And there's the photo wall in the back and some other goodies that you can buy here. And I'm going to take you backstage, so behind the scenes, to look at all our equipment. So 1 minute for the light to turn on. So these are all our wetsuits. And this is our tech area where we fix gear here. Some more snowboards and hiking backpacks here that I just passed by that you can also rent. And over here by the first aid corner, we have our board of all the guides that are part of OUTBACK. And then back here, we have more equipment that you can rent and where we kind of put all the equipment for our trips. So back here, we have snow boots and some camping things back there. And this is kind of where we prep all the food for the road trips and any overnight trips that we might have. And then back here, out this way, outside, we have all our boats. So you can see some of our kayaks and canoes, and that's a trailer getting ready for one of the kayak trips tomorrow. And that's it.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
So I'll hop back over here. So Lorena just told us a little bit about the trips. We have a kayak trip going out tomorrow, and all of our trips are led by students like Lorena and Leah, who are both here today. And we run these trips throughout the entire year. We like to take advantage of holidays to explore away from San Diego. And then we also have some shorter trips like snorkeling and kayaking. And we'll try to go to nearby national parks like these ones. We have this top picture is Joshua Tree backpacking trip, and then below is Death Valley. We go there on our spring break road trip. And then all transportation is included normally for our trips, and then also activity specific gear, and then like Lorena said, food for overnight trips. And most importantly, there's no experience required for any of our trips, and we'll teach you everything you need to know to thrive in the outdoors, including on our WOA trips. And then during the pandemic, we've been lucky enough to keep running trips. Our limiting factor has been transportation, but we've been doing some trips that are closer to home. UCSD is just incredible because we have the Scripps Institute of Oceanography. We have the beach down there we can launch from. We also have the Scripps Coastal Reserve, which is a great place to go hiking and tide pooling and all of those things. So here you can see some pictures of the trips we've done during the pandemic. And we hope that by the time you all come to campus, we'll be back to running some of our longer trips to national parks and other awesome places. And then I also want to mention that top photo is 3 of our guides. And if you're wondering how to work here at Outback and to lead these trips, we'll have another info session about that in the first week of the fall. That's usually on the Monday of week 1. And basically there's an application and then a year-long outdoor leadership program that you go through to get those skills. So really quickly, I'll tell you about the OCC, the Outback Climbing Center, is located in Canyon View Aquatic Center, and that's on the east side of campus. And we had 2 racquetball courts that were converted into a climbing gym, which is pretty cool. Anyone can come climb. We have routes for beginners, intermediate climbers, and mostly it's bouldering, which is climbing without a rope and doing shorter problems. We unfortunately have been closed throughout the pandemic, but we hope to open again for you all in the fall. And then lastly, before we get to wilderness orientation, we have a challenge course, which is an Odyssey team building course on campus in our eucalyptus forest. And it's open to student groups, campus orgs, corporate groups, and some of our wilderness orientation trips will start out on the course on day 1 to begin bonding as a group. So wilderness orientation, here we are. This year is incredibly special, not only because we did not get to run our WOA trips last year, and we're really excited to be able to provide this opportunity for you all, but also it'll be our 30th year of running wilderness orientation. So that's really awesome. Here you can see photos of Black Canyon on the left, and then the Mineral King, which is in the Sierra Nevada, backpacking on the right. And wilderness orientation trips are optional trips before or after your regular mandatory college orientation, which I believe are all mostly virtual this year. And like our other trips, the cost includes transportation, food, group gear, and then of course our experienced student leaders. So I'm going to pause here before getting into more of these details. I want one of these trips to speak for themselves. So I'm going to show you a quick video, and then I'm going to invite Leah to share their experience on wilderness orientation. So bear with me. Here is the video for just a minute. All right, sorry about that. You had no sound for a little bit, but I think you got the gist of, you know, the visuals, and you're able to see a little bit of the place that we go. So that is the Black Canyon, and I'll just pass it over to Leah to share some of their experience on their wilderness orientation trip in that location on the canoe trip.
Yeah, hey, my name is Leah. My pronouns are they, them, theirs. I'm a second year environmental systems major, also part of Marshall College. And I went on the Black Canyon canoe trip in 2019. And now I'm a secondary guide with OUTBACK. So my favorite part of the trip was probably either like the sunrise paddle we did on the last morning, or the hot springs that we got to find in the canyons. And for me, it was honestly just a really great opportunity to meet other incoming students and get outside. And I think it was made like a really special experience because the guides really put a lot of effort into making it an inclusive experience for people of all ability levels or experience levels. And yeah, so going into it, I was like a little bit hesitant about the less comfortable parts of camping, like not having a bathroom or showers or things like that. But it ended up being a really great experience, just like a good bonding experience. And they definitely will like walk you through everything you need to know. And yeah, it's also a really great opportunity because you're guided by other students. And so you get to like make a lot of connections that way. And that's been a really valuable thing for me. And yeah, overall, being a part of WOA and now being a part of OUTBACK was really like one of the best parts of my UCSD experience. And so I hope that some of you all will get to experience that as well.
Thanks, Leah. I'll share a little bit more about some of the logistics of these trips, but first, here's our mission, which I think Leah pretty much covered. And I just want to add that our intention with these trips is to create a wilderness experience that is metaphoric of the new environment that students might encounter at the university. So just stepping into something new and potentially challenging. And the challenges that the group faces together might parallel some of those difficulties that you need to overcome to be successful in college. But also you can see from that video and what Leah was saying is that we also just love to have fun and build community and of course spend time in nature. So that's all a part of our program. Here we go. So here are the trips that we have for you this year, some of the dates and the costs, and we can also put this info in the chat in case you'd like to copy it down. So just like an overview here, our plan is to run 3 sessions of wilderness orientation trips. So you have several date ranges to choose from. So when you select a trip, just make sure it doesn't overlap with your mandatory college orientation, because those are virtual and you will not have access to the internet while you are out on a trip. The only exception is the last day of the trips. We end at 10 a.m. So if you do have a orientation that is that same day, but after 10 a.m., then that would work for you. And then you can see here that we have a backpacking trip specifically for transfer students if you're interested in only meeting other transfer students, but you are all welcome to sign up for any of these trips. You're by no means limited to just the backpacking one. We just wanted to provide that space in case that's what you prefer. And then we also have financial assistance of $200. So we encourage everyone to apply online because we do not want cost to be a barrier for participation. And if you need any further assistance, or if you'd like to figure out a payment plan, or if you just need help figuring out how to get gear and things like that for your trip, we're here to help out. So one of the most important pieces of information, registration will open on June 1st, and spots are limited with 8 or 9 participants per trip, and you'll have 3 or 4 Outback guides. So I highly recommend registering as soon as you can, and you can register online at recreation.ucsd.edu. And then here's also some of our contact information in case you have more questions after this info session. But before I answer some of your questions, I just want to show you around our website. It is not fully up to date, but we are working on it. And if you check back in a week, we'll probably have everything up and running. So this is recreation.ucsd.edu. And if you hover over adventures and scroll down, my computer does not want me to scroll down right now. There we go. We have this wilderness orientation tab. You can click on that and then you'll see all of the trips that we're running. So again, we have a canoe and a kayak trip to the Black Canyon. We have our Costa Summits trip, which stays in San Diego. And then we have our backpacking trips to the Sierra Nevadas. And these are all for incoming undergrad students. So you can click on any of these trips and find out more. We have more information about our policies. We have an FAQ if you're curious about travel and logistics, all of that. So definitely check out our website if you're curious about learning more. I am going to look through the chat and see if there's any questions. If you have any that have come up, feel free to just direct message them to me, or Leah or Lorena can also answer questions about their experience in the guide program and on WOA. So let's see. Oh yeah, and then Lorena put the dates of all of the trips in the chat, so you have that. Cool. I don't see any questions, but we can hang out for a few minutes. Maybe Lorena, do you want to share a little bit about the OLC since you're doing that right now?
Sure. So the OLC stands for the Outdoor Leadership Certificate, and it's how you get the training to be a guide and to lead some of the trips that we've talked about today. So this year, because of COVID, we didn't do the initial backpacking trip, but usually it would start with an application process, and then once you get accepted, we have virtual certs, which Tessa, would those be in person next year?
Yeah, highly likely we'll have most things back to being in person. Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So on Thursday evenings, we have training on certain leadership skills like camping skills, kayaking, canoeing. So you can really come into this without any outdoor experience, and they give you all the tools necessary to thrive in the outdoors. And then you also take trips to for rock climbing to learn that, and also like I mentioned, canoeing and kayaking. And it's just a really great way to find community here at UCSD, especially because I came from Los Angeles, so I didn't really know anything around San Diego, or and I didn't know people in San Diego or near UCSD either. So this program really helped me a lot. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. All right, well, if there are no questions, we can end our session, but as we're wrapping up here, feel free to put questions in the chat. And then also we have a Q&A booth. So if you'd like to chat with us one-on-one or talk to Leah or Lorena or myself, and you in that meeting, you can like show your video and we can just talk, that works. So Lorena just put the Zoom room for the Q&A in the chat as well. So you can copy that over if you want to come chat with us. But that's all we have for you today. We hope to see you register on June 1st and see you on campus at UCSD in the fall. Welcome. Thanks, everybody.